The Amal Movement is a Lebanese political party and former militia affiliated with the Shia sect. Founded by Musa al-Sadr in 1974, the party has been led by Nabi Berri since 1980. During the Lebanese Civil War, Ali Hussein Berbari al-Jafar was the right hand of Musa al-Sadr and disappeared with him in Libya. It was founded by Musa al-Sadr as the Movement of the Dispossessed in 1974. The Amal movement gained attention from Shia outcry after the disappearance of Musa al-Sadr and saw a renewal in popularity after Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1978. The Iranian Revolution of 1978-79 also provided momentum for the party. The Amal movement is, by a small margin, the largest Shia party in parliament, having 16 representatives to Hezbollah's 13. Amal has an alliance with the Progressive Socialist Party and with Hezbollah. The movement's current name was originally used by the deprived movement militia, the Lebanese resistance regiments. This name, when abbreviated, created the acronym Amal, which is Arabic for hope. Harakat al-Maruman was established by Imam Musa al-Sadr and Member of Parliament Hussein el-Husseini in 1974. As an attempt to reform the Lebanese system, although the beginnings can be traced to 1969 in declarations by the Imam al-Sadr calling upon peace and equality between all Lebanese confessions and religions, so that no one confession would remain deprived in any region in Lebanon. Noting that the Shia community in Lebanon remained the poorest and most neglected by the Lebanese government, while acknowledging its support base to be the traditionally underrepresented politically and economically disadvantaged Shia community. It aimed, according to Palmer Harik, to seek social justice for all deprived Lebanese. Although influenced by Islamic ideas, it was a secular movement trying to unite people along communal rather than religious or ideological lines. The movement had support from many confessions, but membership remained mainly within the Shia confession and was considered as a definitive Shia force against the traditional Shia family's hegemony at the time. The Greek Catholic Archbishop of Beirut, Gregoire Haddad, was among the founders of the movement. The movement was absorbed in 1975 into what is now called Amal Movement. On January 20, 1975, the Lebanese resistance regiments from the acronym of Afwaj al-Muqawmah al-Lubnaniya, Amal became one of the most important Shia Muslim militias during the Lebanese Civil War. It grew strong with the support of, and through its ties with, Syria and the 300,000 Shia internal refugees from southern Lebanon after the Israeli bombings in the early 1980s. Amal's practical objectives were to gain greater respect for Lebanon's Shiite population and the allocation of a larger share of governmental resources for the Shiite-dominated southern part of the country. At its zenith, the militia had 14,000 troops. Amal fought a long campaign against Palestinian refugees during the Lebanese Civil War. After the War of the Camps, Amal fought a bloody battle against rival Shia group Hezbollah for control of Beirut, which provoked Syrian military intervention. Hezbollah itself was formed by religious members of Amal who had left after Nabi Berri's assumption of full control and the subsequent resignation of most of Amal's earliest members. On January 20, 1975 T5, the Lebanese resistance detachments is formed as a military wing of the movement of the disinherited under the leadership of al-Sadr. In 1978 the founder al-Sadr disappears in mysterious circumstances while visiting Libya. He was succeeded by Hussein el-Husseini as leader of Amal. In 1979 Palestinian guerrillas attempt to assassinate then Secretary General Hussein el-Husseini by launching missiles into his home outside Beirut. In 1980 Hussein el-Husseini resigned from Amal leadership after refusing to drench Amal in blood and fight alongside the PLO or any other faction. In 1980 Nabi Berri became one of the leaders of Amal, marking the entry of Amal in the Lebanese Civil War. In summer 1982 Hussein al-Musawi, deputy head and official spokesman of Amal, broke away to form the Islamist Islamic Amal movement. In May 1985, heavy fighting erupted between Amal and Palestinian camp militias for the control of the Sabra Satila and Burj al-Barajneh camps in Beirut, sparking the so-called War of the Camps, which lasted until 1987. In December 1985, Nabi Berri of Amul, Walid Jumblat of the Druze Progressive Socialist Party, and Eli Hobiakar of the Lebanese forces signed the Tripartite Accord in Damascus, which is supposed to give strong influence to Damascus regarding Lebanese matters. The agreement never came into effect due to Hobiakar's ousting. Heavy fighting erupted between Hezbollah and Amul in the wake of the War of the Camps, to which Hezbollah was opposed. Syrian forces entered the area to help Amul against Hezbollah. Syrian troops killed dozens of Hezbollah members in W.